Hi guys, today I'm doing chapter 6 on the dummies book, which is JavaScript and CSS. So JavaScript, in this chapter we are basically styling the robot Douglas. You can see how we can change him, style him. Yeah. So here, go to the fiddle and copy this code if you haven't copied it, and then now we are on CSS basics. Take a look on the first lines of the JavaScript robot CSS pane. Now this is the body, and this tells us what font family we want the body to have inside it. So now this body is now called a selector. It indicates what elements the CSS rule applies. So this is a declaration box. We are declaring what we want the robot to be. So CSS selectors, the selector is the part of the CSS rule that comes before this. CSS selectors tell the web browser what HTML element and style should apply to. So now let's see the CSS selectors. Take a look at the first two rules in the JavaScript robot CSS panel. We have the body and the paragraph. These both are examples of selectors. Element selectors. Okay, I'll just sum this and then, okay, this is an element selector. This is an element, selects the body. It tells us which one we want to go to. And this one is the declaration inside the body. And this one is an element selector of a paragraph. Normally on HTML we'll have it like this. So this basically goes to the paragraph, and this goes this is on our CSS. It straight up goes to our HTML to this, and this one goes to our HTML to this. Okay. Class selectors. Take a look now. The third CSS rule in the JavaScript pane. Now this is a class. A class will always start with a dot, and then the it's called a period. Then by the attribute that you want to edit, that you want to style, whatever you want to do with it. It always starts with the dot. So the ID on the class I, we have two IDs, which is the right eye and the left eye. So whenever you want to do the IDs, you start with a hashtag. You start with the hash symbol. It tells you, it goes specifically to a certain eye. It tells you what to do with the eye. It doesn't edit all the eyes. As for this one, it edits the two eyes. It doesn't edit one. So this one just helps us to specify if you want to edit something, a single thing. Now we're going to CSS declarations. CSS declarations go inside declaration box following CSS selectors. Declarations are made up of two parts. There is a property and the value. And this one I want to show you the property. This is the property, the background color, and this is the value. So here on the top, this is the property, and 35 is the value. What does the value do? It shows us how the property should be changed. It shows us if you wanna change the property to 20, it's the one that shows us. Wanna change the property to 10, it shows us specifically. So after you're done declaring, you have to put a semicolon all the time. This is like a full stop. The declaration block for the elements with the I class, for example, contains 4 declarations. Yes, it has a background color, width, height, and a border radius, which is 4 declarations. CSS properties give you style. Yes. So with CSS, the most important thing we're doing here is styling the robot. You change to whatever you want to change to. Yeah, you just have to know the format of changing. You change the whatever you are editing, you change it to how you want it to look like. So let's make some changes to Douglas look by modifying the values of some different CSS properties. Find the row for this for the P element. It's currently on the second row on the CSS pane. Change the value of the font size. Okay, let's go to the P element. And change it to 2,5. 2,5. Yeah. So when I see how it's gonna look now, the eyes, the sorry, the font size. The eye is a little bit smaller. Okay. Change the value of the body of the element to the following. Pay attention to the use of codes. Comic. Okay, let's go to the body. So they said we should change the value, which is this one after. Just copy the value. And paste it here. It changed. The value of this changed. Okay. Now it says the complete CSS row should look like this. Body. Yes, this is what I did. And then this was before the font before. Now this is the font now on the JavaScript body. Find the CSS row that contains Douglas eye color. Let's go. Here's the eye color. Is change the eye color value of the background color property to your eye color. For example, okay, now I want him to have yellow eyes. Yellow eyes. You'll see Douglas had blue eyes all along. Now you have yellow eyes. Yeah. Changed. So click run to see the results. The color that Douglas eyes changed to when you use the word brown doesn't look very brown to us. And the color that is used when you try to make Douglas eyes green isn't a color that anyone else are likely to be. To get more precise color, you can use another CSS color names. Okay, I know the color names. Using CSS colors. CSS colors describe millions of possible colors that a web browser can display by using different combinations of green, red, and blue. Here is an example of a CSS color hexadecimal notation. So you start with the hash, the code. The hash symbol indicates that is a hexadecimal code, and after the first and second symbols 9b indicate a shade of red, and then this one indicate the shade of green, and then this one indicate the shade of blue. Amount of blue you wanna put in. You wanna put in 38 blue, 20 blue. Let's see. So how does the colors work? At this point, okay. Let me say, hexadecimal notation is how monster with 16 fingers might count. For example, people have 10 fingers, so we have 10 different digits that we use for counting. 0 to 9. If you have 16 fingers, however, you would need to invent a new symbols to represent additional fingers. Okay. Instead of inventing new symbols, computers use letters for the digits after 9. So A is equivalent to 10, B is equivalent to 11, C is 12, 13 is E, as 13 is 14, and E is 14, and F is 15. So two-digit hexadecimal code start with 00. So it ends with FF, which is 255. Okay. So resizing elements in CSS, how do we do that? So we have pixels, we have percentages. So now they told us that we'd rather use percentages because even if you're using a bigger screen computer, the percentages will only count to a certain percentage of the screen that you're showing. And in the pixels, even if you're using someone is using a smaller computer and we have this code and it's written in pixels, sometimes the smaller device, maybe it's a phone, it will only show the eye because it's smaller. The pixels will go to the very same pixel on the computer. It doesn't go on the percentage of the motherboard. So it's convenient for us to use percentages of the computer. For example, mine, we're using a percentage of my computer. Okay, the arm controls the color and size of both arms. The arm controls the distance. Let me start where it started. Okay. Find the CSS rule for the eye color. Change the eye to 30 and 30. It's 20 and 20. So let's change it to 30 and 30. So 30 and 30. And then now the eyes are a little bit bigger. They are bigger. Yeah. So now find the CSS rule for the arm class. We have it here. Background color. So the arm class, this one, it controls the both arms, the both IDs of arms, the right arm and the left arm. Okay. Change the width of the arms to 3% and click run and give Douglas skinny arms. Let me say 3.5%. So Douglas is gonna be skinny. So now Douglas has skinny arms. Add properties to change the width to be larger than the height. Okay, the right arm, I don't know what I did with that. Okay, let's do the left arm. Why don't I have width and height on my arm? Let's see how this is gonna be. Okay, let me remove it for now. Now, understanding cascading. Let me see how this is going. This one is skinnier than this one. I just want to see. Maybe let me say 16% from the left. It's going far. Let me bring it back. Let me say 25% or just 26. Why is it disappearing? $22. It's a little bit too close. You can't see if it's an arm or just another part of the body. So 20. $21. Because I want the arm and the body to be a little bit to be attached a bit. It's better. Okay, so now the arm, if I add it to the other arm, is changing. Why? Because this arm is lifted up, the left arm. So if I try to use the same width and height for the right arm and the left arm, it won't work because we are trying to modify the left arm. Okay. A robot's left arm can only be width and height. So what happens when two different CSS rows try to set the width and height of the arm separately? Okay. Positioning elements with CSS. In addition to giving you the ability to change colors and how elements appear in browser, you can also CSS also lets you change where on the screen an element will appear. Changing the place where an element will appear is called positioning an element. So for change the right eye. Now this is us moving the right eye 10%. Let's go to the right eye and see. 10%, 10%. So you see the right eye is a little bit on top of the left eye, which is different from each other. We had to change one. Okay. Now, customize your own JavaScript robot. So we typically done with chapter 6. So chapter 6 was just telling us how we can manipulate the robot using the properties and the selectors. Thank you for watching.